Any service is only worthwhile if it's effective, and it's not likely to be effective if it's not easy to use. Here we hope to prove to you that this service is both easy to use and effective. The system architecture. This is a hosted service supplied on a worldwide basis. It's not hosted on some computers sitting in my garage. It's hosted in the Amazon cloud. For those not familiar with the cloud, we can describe it as a flexible, on-demand, professionally managed computer environment of the highest order. It is infinitely scalable. We do not own the computers, but from a dashboard we can add more computing power in seconds. We can recover from a complete 100% system wipeout to up and running in 30 minutes. Reliability is inbuilt. Now let's look at the geography of the website. On logging on, you're brought directly to the reports menu. The page is divided into columns, summary reports. These give you totals of complex queries. You will not see any individual core records in this column. Analysis reports. These reports offer a fine-grained view of individual core records, for example top 20. Traffic reports offer you information about the volumes and busiest times of the day. And administration. Here you can configure all your administrative functions. Here at the top you'll see a button called College. This is where you can find step-by-step procedures for achieving your objectives. We'll come back to this one later. Now let's look at the reporting. I'm not going to go through every report, I just want to give you an overview of the capabilities. Let's take a look at the branch summary. Okay, we can pick our start and end dates, and we can run the report. And here we have a graph, a chart, and here we have the numbers. On the left you'll see a branch. Here, depending on your username, you'll be able to see branches. One user can see any number of branches here, depends on the security that the end user wants to put onto the system. For the purpose of this demonstration we only use one branch. Let's look at the columns in the table. Duration in, the hours, minutes and seconds, total number of hours, minutes and seconds of incoming calls. Duration out, total number of hours, minutes and seconds of outgoing. Total cost of local, long distance, mobile, special, miscellaneous calls, operator assisted and international. Total cost of calls. These columns remain constant throughout the application. There's no swapping around of titles to confuse. Now let's look at the demo. Live, the site. You can see that clicking on that brought me through to the department summary for that particular branch. We have a chart for visual impact. We have a table listing all the departments on the left, the same titles across the top. Let's just take a look at some of the widgets inside the report. This little orange button here, I can order by cost, local cost, or I can order by total cost. I can order by any of these columns. At the bottom here we have a CSV. We can export to CSV. If we click on that, you'll see this open in CSV. Back to the report. Now let's click on a particular department and we'll open an extension summary report. Here you see the department name remains the same with the extension numbers there. Again, we want to order, we can click on the top and it will order. Total costs for each extension. Now if we feel that this one here is a little suspicious, 300 for international calls, click on that. And you'll see all the international calls made by that extension. Clearly this approach makes it very easy for the manager to investigate issues. Now we'll click back to the reports menu. And I want to show you the expense summary report. Okay, this report is actually 7 reports on the one page. Top most expensive departments, and you can hover and see the expenses. Top extension users and traffic per call type. Local calls 24,000. Top unknown destinations, top business destinations, and top private destinations. And here we have the top calls report. A really good comprehensive overview for a senior manager. So now, how do we put all of this into practice? First question would be, how do we allocate costs to departments? First of all, we must say that there will be differences in the billing on this service and the various telcos. These differences are due to many variables, but mostly some telcos bill monthly and some bill at arbitrary times of the month, and all carry calls over from previous billing months. Over a period of 3 months, the telco cost and this service cost should be very similar, but on a monthly basis there will be small variations. This report helps you allocate the measured cost sensibly put the cost you want into the box, 35,000, and run the report. And the cost is the additional cost is allocated pro rata the spend for each department. So you see there's an overhead column which is the pro rata added, and then the total allocated cost here. So now your costs are allocated on an equitable basis. The next question is, how do I control costs? We cover this in detail in the college, and we'll go through it shortly. But to summarize, we first create awareness of the costs being generated by each extension. Then we interact with the users to collect business and private numbers. Then we charge for private calls from repeat offenders, creating awareness. User alerts. This is an email we generate automatically and send to the user or the manager within an hour of them completing the call that exceeds a preset limit. Let's create one. At the top here you'll see description of alert. That's a free text field, put in appropriate description. Extension condition, any, means all extensions. You can put in a particular extension or a group of extensions. Cost condition, any. Well, let's say we want cost greater than 10. And we want outgoing calls clearly. Business or private? Well, business, private, or unknown only, or any calls. let's leave it as all calls over 10. Let's leave the duration because we've got a cost that more or less covers it. Send email to user, yes. Send email to manager, yes. These email addresses are in the telephone directory. Additional email addresses you may want to send the email to, and a reply address, so when the user gets the email, if he wants to reply, it goes to somebody within your organization. Mail subject, customizable, put a subject there for the mail, and message body, put something appropriate in there. Choose whether you want the mail to be HTML or text, and there we are. Emails away. Awareness being created automatically. Now, based on these mails, we can ask people, was that a business call or a private call? And we can record their answers in this list, the business private list. And here you see the list as we have it. We can add new numbers here, or we can edit a number. Let's add a new number. There. We put a prefix. That's the first part of a number or the whole number. If it's the first part of the number, you might have a business number that you phone all the time, a large company, and you may only want to put the first 6 or 7 digits in there to signify that that's the whole company must be business. If it's a private number, you put the whole number in. You mark it business or private, you put a description, you press create. That creates the number and is now designated a private number. Now, how do we allocate these costs? Well, that's very easy. We go to extension summary. We pick our dates again. We view the report. It's already there. And we make sure that it's private calls. And there we see every extension listed that's made private calls and the cost of those calls. We can order here to see who the big spenders are, and there we have it. The top offender is extension 6051 with 553. Up to you now, your decision to charge that guy for his private calls or not. Now let's look at the help we have. Realize that not everybody is a brilliant telecoms manager, and we don't really want them to go out and have to invent it all themselves, so we provide a lot of help for you. Introductory video. This gets a brand new user orientated in a similar way to this video. Getting started document gives them a couple of basics and introduces them to the college. The college contains lots of information in detail about how to do things. You can see a cost allocation to departments and extensions, orientation, directory, how to update extensions, unassigned extensions, that is extensions that aren't in a particular department, how do we deal with them, and how to allocate costs. So here you'll see directory, how to update the directory within the service, pictures, text, everything in detail so that you can get the job done. And lastly, we have frequently asked questions. This is a place we put questions and answers that don't really fit in any of the categories, all the miscellaneous questions and answers that people have. So there they are, all available online. All in all, we hope you found this service to be well-rounded and complete. It's easy to use and it is effective. Thank you.